I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Good morning. Well, there's a story about a tasty leopard safari. A wealthy man and his poodle were on safari when one day the poodle starts chasing butterflies. And wandering about, the poodle notices a leopard sprinting towards him with the intention of having him for lunch. The dog thinks, oh, I'm in big doo-doo now. But out of the corner of his eye, he notices some bones on the ground and immediately turns his back to the leopard and starts chewing on the bones. And as the leopard approaches and is about to jump on him, the poodle exclaims loudly, man, that was one of the most delicious leopards I have ever eaten. I wonder if there are any more around here. The leopard halts his attack in mid-stride as a look of terror comes over him, and he slinks away into the trees. Whew, that was a close call, the leopard says. That poodle almost had me. Meanwhile, on a tree nearby, a monkey had watched this whole scene and figured that he could put this knowledge to use and get protection from the leopard. So as he heads off, the dog notices the monkey is running after the leopard in high speed. So he thinks, oh, there's something going on here. Something is up. So catching up with the leopard, the monkey tells all and strikes a deal with the leopard. And the leopard says, here, monkey, hop on my back and we will see what will happen to that canine. So the poodle sees the monkey and the leopard approaching and thinks, oh no, what do I do now? But instead of running, the poodle sits down with his back towards them, facing the attackers, and pretends that he hasn't seen them. And just when they get close enough to hear, he says, now where is that monkey? I just can never trust him. I sent him off a half an hour ago to bring me another leopard, and he's still not back. And there's the cast of this wonderful play. Fear. Ever feel any fear? Sometimes fear is absolutely necessary. It helps us to avoid dangerous situations, does it not? Fear can be an intelligent emotion that has a place in our nervous system. It's often called nature's protector because it protects us and all other animals as well to experience that feel, to move out of a dangerous situation. However, have you ever noticed that sometimes fear goes into overdrive and can kind of enter into our lives and our situations and can come up in not so appropriate ways? That ever happen to you? You know, and what happens if we start to experience fear is we stop being our spiritual self. We jump into that fearful fight or flight or freeze mode when we're experiencing fear. So when we do that, then we can't access spirit, we can't access creativity, we can't access our heart. It's almost like we go into that reptilian consciousness where we are wanting to fight, flight, or freeze, yeah? You ever notice that? So this talk is about recognizing fear and moving to a place of fearless presence. We can acknowledge the fear, but we don't have to let it overtake us and dominate our consciousness and our actions. Now, it seems to me, and maybe it's just my perception, that everybody is freaking out about the coronavirus. Facts, fiction. How do we know what is real? We don't really know. Scientists don't even really know. You know, we have thoughts like, oh, how many countries are affected? What if somebody sneezes on me? How many people have died? How are governments reacting? How should I react? And it can feel overwhelming. I was in Target and Walmart the other day, and it was like a zoo in there. People were buying everything. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I got to be buying stuff too, right? What should I buy? I called Emily up. What should I buy? Here I am. Everybody's filling their carts with all this stuff, and I'm walking around with a bar of soap, right? You know, there's a fear of contracting it ourselves, or our loved ones contracting it, or everybody's on edge. Everybody is fearful. It's like the media is buying into it. Our whole country is in this outrage. The whole world really is in an outrage, you know. And maybe we should be, or maybe we shouldn't be. How do we really know? You know, the only thing that we can really do is to take care of ourselves. You know, it's essential that we are careful. It's essential that we follow the Center for Disease Control's guidelines and wash our hands and sanitize and disinfect and abide by travel warnings. I think that's important. But how do we protect ourselves emotionally? How do we protect ourselves physically? How do we protect ourselves spiritually? So that we don't let the fear of this virus be a virus that affects us and affects the truth of who we are, right? Because we know that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, but we don't want to get so dominated by the physical experience that we can't be spiritual beings, right? We can't be in our hearts. So what can we do? Well, I've got a spiritual prescription for the coronavirus today. So I've got some things that I'm going to suggest to you that we can do, that I can do too, to help us from getting in that place of fear. And the first thing we can do is to acknowledge your fear. To acknowledge that, yeah, I feel afraid. Anybody feel afraid on some level? You know, it's not bad to say so. It might have been bad to say we're afraid when we were a kid, or even growing up as an adult, we're taught don't be afraid, right? And the truth of it is, being fearful is a human emotion. But what we don't want to do is to let it override our senses, override our spirit, let it override our ability to be present and to love. And so what I'd like to suggest is that you take time to be afraid. You know, take 5 minutes, right? Take 10 minutes. Take a half an hour or an hour if you feel it's necessary, and just get into that fear, yeah? And like, oh, it's horrible. I feel terrible. Oh, my God, the world is going to end. And, oh my God. And then at some point just to decide, okay, that's it. Get into the fear. And then set a deadline and say, I'm going to feel it, I'm going to express it, I'm going to be it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and when it's over, then I'm going to do something else, right? I'm not going to look on the internet. I'm not going to read all the articles. I'm not going to turn on the TV and watch all of the fear-mongering that's going on. I want to be aware of what's happening. I want to be able to protect myself and others, but I don't want to buy into it in such a way that it's affecting my health. So it's essential that we acknowledge it and then say, I'm feeling it here. After that, I'm moving on. I'm going to go do something that I enjoy. I'm going to go out and be in nature. Go take a walk in the Makawa forest. Go down to the beach. We have lots of things that we can do here on Maui that are healthy and good for us, and places we can go where we don't have to be afraid of contracting this virus. So what else can we do? We can eliminate unproductive worry. You know, the kind of worry that says, oh, what if somebody coughs on me? Oh, what if somebody sneezes on me? What if I have the virus? What if the stock market continues to fall? What if there's no more toilet paper at Costco? What am I going to do if I don't have 47 rolls of toilet paper in my closet? Like, what is that all about? Why toilet paper, for God's sake? I mean, I could see Dainty Moore stew or something, but toilet paper? Do we really think that we're going to be that shit out of luck? I mean, really? You know, if you're really afraid, go buy one of those packs of all those towels in the auto department at Costco. I'm being silly, but, you know, but it's like, wow. I mean, I went and I saw people loading 3 or 4 multi-packs of toilet paper in their car. Yeah, maybe they're giving one to their neighbor, but really, you know, let's be sensible. Let's be wise. Oh, my goodness. And then the second thing we can do is to embrace productive worry. You know, to make a to-do list of things that are really important. You know, what is it that I can do? Maybe you want to eat better right now. You know, maybe you want to take supplements to build your immune system. You know, what is it that you can do? Maybe it means limiting your exposure to a whole lot of people. But we want to look at it that way, and what is the reasonable thing to do? You know, it's certainly reasonable to wash your hands regularly. It's certainly reasonable to sanitize your hands. You know, it's certainly reasonable to sanitize our conch before we blow it. You know, there are things that are reasonable and that are productive that we can do that don't take us down that road of perpetual fear. And really, I think one of the most important things that we can decide to do is not to perpetuate negative thinking. You know, our negative thinking causes so much of our dis-ease, right? We want to be able to control our thoughts and not have our thoughts control us. And just say, you know, that's it. I'm done thinking negatively. And you have control of your mind. Believe it or not, your mind doesn't have control over you. You have control over your mind. And that's a lot of what this teaching of unity is about, is to be able to say, stop it. Put that aside. I choose not to continue down this road of thinking negative thoughts. Look at what's positive. You know, when we think negative thoughts, when we get into fear, it introduces cortisol into our system. Cortisol is the hormone that creates this feeling that we have to fight, or we have to flight, or we have to freeze. You ever notice that? That's that little shot of adrenaline that we get when we become afraid. It goes, ooh, got to take action now. And it's interesting because it moves our blood through our system and gets us going, but it disconnects the reptilian part of our brain from the creative part of our brain. It disconnects us from our spirit, so that we don't always make the best choices. We can control our thoughts. You know, we can change our thinking and change our lives. That's one of the most powerful things that unity teaches, I believe, is that we have the power to change our thinking. You have the power to change your thinking. And affirmations are a powerful way to do that. And here's our affirmation for today. And let's say it again together. And I want you to feel it, to feel some emotion around it as we say it together. Let's say it together. I love all life. I expect the best. I experience perfect health. And I feel great. And I invite you to really feel this affirmation when you say it. You know, because when we feel something, that vibration goes through all of our cells, all of our thoughts, all of our feelings, and it becomes a radiating energy that affects every part of our mind, our body, and our spirit. And it also affects the world. It affects the people around us. I love all life. I love all life. Don't you? Can you feel the power behind that? Just to be able to love everything. Somebody said this morning, something that I was watching too, that they even love the virus. Wow. Not because we're loving it to open ourselves up to experiencing it, but we're feeling love. We're sending a vibration of love out. So that even whatever is in that virus at some point is going to become healed, is going to experience a healing generated through love. Kind of a different way to look at it, isn't it? You know, to love the things that we're afraid of. Because when we do so, we become immune to them. We become immune to their negative effect on us. There's a great Cherokee proverb that you've probably heard before that says, there's a battle of two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, lies, inferiority, and ego. And I'd like to add fear to that. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, truth, and wholeness. And the young Cherokee asked the chief, which wolf wins? And the chief said, it's the one you feed. So if we feed the anger, if we feed the fear, it manifests and grows larger, yeah? Whereas if we feed the truth, if we feed peace, if we feed love, if we feed patience, if we feed health, think healthy thoughts, then if we dwell on fear, we feed it. If we dwell on health, we experience it. And the next thing we can do, maybe one of the most powerful things that we can do, is to be grateful. To be grateful for the health that you have right now. Right? Because as soon as you are grateful for that and you say, boy, I am grateful for the health that I have right now, it emphasizes that health. That part of you that is healthy goes, yeah, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. And it magnifies it. You know, we know that what we are grateful for attracts more of that into our lives. It's like we open ourselves up to receiving from the universe that which we are grateful for. Be grateful for your health. Be grateful for the love in your life. Be grateful for your friends and your relatives. Be grateful for the way that you think, for your psychological health. Be grateful for your physical health. Be grateful for your thought there was a third one in there. For your spiritual health. You know, be grateful for these teachings that you know, that I believe for all of us here are the backbone of our truth. And remember these teachings, rely on these teachings, practice these teachings. This is a good time to pray right now. It's a good time to pray and affirm that which you are grateful for and bring more of that into your life. The Harvard Medical School study done there said that there's an association between gratitude and an individual's well-being. Grateful people are healthier. Louise Hay wrote, "My happy thoughts create my healthy body." I love that. Modern research is showing that when we have negative emotions, they will show themselves in our physical bodies. In the same way, modern research is showing that when we practice gratitude, it can help to heal our bodies, our minds, and align us with our spirit. That when we practice gratitude, it can actually lift our emotions, right? And emotions are what? Feelings, yeah? So, when we use positive words and positive affirmations, it creates a positive feeling in our body and in our emotions. And we become an attractor to that which we desire. We become an attractor to health and life, prosperity, peace. With an attitude of gratitude, I demonstrate greater health. Let's say that together. With an attitude of gratitude, I demonstrate greater health. Right now. As soon as you are saying these words, I know that your being, which is healthy, your essence is saying, yes, I know that this is true. So the next piece of this, and related, is to be possible, or is to be positive. Your healing begins with your attitude. You have more power than you recognize in you. And this is experienced and expressed when you are positive. I think it's so important right now to be positive, because people are affected by you, by me. Everywhere you are, everywhere you go, I challenge you to be positive. Let that be the underlying or the prevalent theme in your life, to be positive. Don't get caught up in the negativeness. Don't be, a negative washboard that's out there, influencing other people's consciousness in a negative way. Be a positive expression in life. That's really what I believe we're here to do, and to remember in everything we do, to be positive. Imagine that all of us are tools of spiritual transformation. You affect many people every day. People you meet in your life, in your work, on the street, glancing at them in your car, all have an influence on people's life. You are a magnet and a transformer and a vibrator and a presence in this world. And I encourage you to be conscious of that, to really be aware of what you're thinking, and to imagine that you are a broadcasting station, right? You're sending out a vibration everywhere you go. Don't you find yourself reading people's vibrations everywhere you go, right? And other people are doing the same thing. So you get to be a conductor of positive vibes. Don't you love that? So the next piece is to pray and to meditate daily. We know that meditation stills the mind. Meditation increases our energy field and lowers our stress hormones. Who doesn't want that? When our stress is reduced, our immune system works more effectively and efficiently. I think this is an incredible time to really take our meditation practice to the next level. And if you say, well, Rev, I can't really meditate. I can't stay still. My mind can't stay still long enough. Well, then just sit and hold your heart and think about love. Just think about sending love out to the world. And just focus on that. Focus on being a center of love. Just being at peace. Read the daily word. Hold it. Take time to say some affirmations. for yourself, for our state, for our country, and for the world. I like this saying that I discovered this week. The mind is like moving water. Only when the water becomes still can you see an accurate reflection of reality. You know, one of the beautiful things about meditation is when we are in meditation and we're connected with Spirit, we behold what is true. Ever notice that? We can really see who we are. If you're introspective in your meditation, and you might go in and say, what is it that I can know? What is the truth for me? What is my responsibility in this situation? And just listen. How can I respond most lovingly in this time when there's so much anxiousness being expressed? How can I be the calm water during this time? And the last thing that we can do, that you can do, that I can do, is to be a conscious leader. That coronavirus and other illnesses, as well as the other global challenges that we're having right now with climate change and war and famine and scarcity, can be the driver of our actions if we let them. We can become locked and frozen in a state of fear that stifles progress. But I believe, and I know you know, that when we hold the opposite to be true, when we hold love in our hearts, when we set the intention to be the change in the world, that we can affect change. And it begins in our own life, in our minds, in our heart, in our spirit. It's when we decide to be peaceful, when we decide to be strong, when we decide to be healthy, when we decide to be loving and compassionate, to be courageous, to be empathetic, we become conscious leaders in our families, in our groups, in our jobs, in our ministry, and in the world. We are here to embrace wholeness, to see it for ourselves, and to see it in the world. Because we know that the truth is health is contagious. Health is contagious. I catch the healing thought of God, and I manifest health in my mind and body. Let's say that together. Health is contagious. I catch the healing thought of God, and I manifest it in my mind and body. Feel that. So, my spiritual prescription for you, and you can all take it home with you today to remember, to acknowledge your fear, to use productive worry, to eliminate unproductive worry, to control your thoughts, to be grateful, to be a conscious leader, to be positive, to meditate daily, and to affirm the truth. I love all life. I expect the best, and I experience perfect health, and I feel great. I invite you to close your eyes. Breathing in and breathing out. Connecting with the essence and the truth of who you are. Connecting with all of you. Remembering that you are a precious, beautiful expression of spirit. And you have come here to be an example. An example of perfect health. An example of spirit. An example of love and light and truth. Do you remember? This is who you are. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's just turn within to this place of peace and wholeness within us. Knowing that right now in this moment that we are holding the thought, the intention, and the power of perfect health. Opening our hearts and minds to allow the healing power of presence to express perfectly in us. And imagining moving from this sacred place today and out into the world. And to know that perfect health goes before us and after us and around us. And yes, we're cautiously optimistic. Beholding the world through the eyes of compassion. Thank you, loving Spirit, for this gift of life. Let us go forward and out into the world to bear the truth, to be powerful expressions of peace, love, light, and health. And so it is. Amen.
Where